This plant grows in the ridges in Somerset County. So if you're going out towards Bedford, and if you're going out towards Westmoreland County, it seems like that whole ridge line, that's where these plants grow. So are they in Cambria County or surrounding areas in southwestern Pennsylvania? It seems like no. It seems like a lot of these plants have been deforested. So a lot of people have built parking lots and housing, and I knew right now they're talking about windmills that might go in place of one area for these plants. It's not rare, so it's not uncommon, but what's happening is the habitat is declining, and in southwestern Pennsylvania there seems to only be 2 counties where this is found. So it's very unique to go and stumble across one of these plants. I think that it is in a lot of jeopardy because, does anybody know where Route 56 is? Going down the mountain? Yeah, and you're going down the mountain to get to Bedford. So there's a lot of plants that are growing out there, but a lot of people like to throw their garbage out the window right there. And what happens whenever it rains is all that garbage gets washed into the bog that's out there. And these plants are surrounded with the garbage no matter what it is. And that's another big thing that's been happening because they're a little sensitive. This is a very special plant, even though they're not classifying it as in jeopardy at all, it kind of is in our area. It's very hard to find these. I've been out looking with Maria a lot of different places, and it's very difficult to stumble across one of these plants. But when you find them, you know you found them, because I usually sink and she usually doesn't. Because the ground is very soft, and I'm not light-footed.
Does that get great big?
They can get pretty big. They can grow pretty round. So probably this around like this size.
I think I have a big one in my room.
Oh yeah? You could. There's a lot of different species. This one here is, I think, around 10. This is a unique variety. So I have a partnership with the Carnivorous Plant Nursery in Maryland. It's a plant nursery that only distributes carnivorous plants and bog plants. And they actually were able to hybridize this species to create a red variety. So it doesn't normally look red like this in the wild completely. There are some instances where it could, but this green that you guys are seeing, like the green pieces of it, that's what normally grows in the wild. I just wanted to bring something that would stand out a little bit more so you would see. But this is a captive, a propagated specimen. I did not go out and poach any of this stuff. So this is just for an example about the purple pitcher plant. This tree frog and this pitcher plant are found in unique places, but they're also found together. So one of the unique things we found in Somerset, the eastern gray tree frog was living near the bog where the purple pitcher plants were found. And what else, as I was doing research over the years, so apparently these frogs will make their way inside the pitcher plant, and they can survive. So they can stick, like you can see him doing on the side of the glass here. These tree frogs are able to stick with their toe pads on the pitcher plant so they won't fall in and die. But it gets even more interesting because then the eastern gray tree frog also is immune to the enzymes. So if the plant's trying to digest, say, a salamander, which is another amphibian, it can eat a salamander while a frog is sleeping next to it. And they're both amphibians, which is very unique. So the purple pitcher plant enjoys the poop of the frog because it's soft and it's easier to digest. So it has a relationship in the wild with these frogs, and spring keepers probably too, where the frogs will hide in these pitcher plants to avoid predators, and then as the insects will come up to the plant to lick things and to wander around, the frog will snatch them up. And as the frog sits there, after a while it breaks down, and then the frog gets rid of it, goes right into the stomach of the pitcher plant. One other thing I forgot to mention as to how they work together. The purple pitcher plant has a very sweet smelling, I don't know if it's a nectar, but there's something where those hair follicles are. And it lures the insects to the hair follicles. So it would be almost like you smelled something really good in the restaurant, it smelled really sweet, like maybe they made a cake, or they made something that smelled very desirable. And it brings mostly flies and other flying insects to the plant, And once it's there, the frog will either snatch it up or they'll fall in. So it's a trap. The pitcher plant brings it there and either gives the frog, if there's a frog there, the opportunity to eat it, or the pitcher plant will. They also will compete for prey items, because if the pitcher plant eats the insect, the frog's probably not getting it. But if the frog eats the insect and it hangs out with the pitcher plant and the frog both get it in two different ways. So it's called a mutually exclusive relationship. It's whenever two parties come together and they both benefit, with the frog getting protection from the pitcher plant and the pitcher plant getting fertilized and food from the frog. So that's why the plant doesn't eat the frog. For some reason it does eat salamanders, which is another amphibian species. So it's very unique. Now, both of these species, we found all of a sudden they both coexist in the mountain range. I'm going to see how far I can find them in the mountains, speaking about the frogs, this year. But the reason why I brought both of these to you is because they have a relationship, and they both are living in very similar areas. Now, you could find one without the other. That's very common because of the range that they both have. You could find pitcher plants all across here, gray tree frogs all across here. Just imagine if these would disappear. It'd be a great loss, because these will eat insects that are pests to us. And the frogs, they're an indicator species of the ecosystem. So if the water quality is bad, you won't find frogs. And that could be an indicator for us, because as we're drinking water, that could also affect us. Pollution can also affect us as well. How's it going, PA Woods and Forest community? Quickly, I have a shout out to Laurel View Village for having us come out there to speak, and the Carnivorous Plant Nursery for providing the plants. Please like and subscribe and share with your friends, and we'll see you in the next one.